So my name is Robin Baggs. I'm a licensed esthetician, Reiki practitioner, and solopreneur business owner of Refresh by Robin Organic Skincare Studio here in Sarasota, Florida. So today I just want to share a few helpful tips on self-care, how we can kind of incorporate that into our daily lives. Particularly facial massage, both professionally and at home. Kind of showing what I like to do for my facial massage. Things such as acupressure points. Also using tools like the Jade Roller and Gua Sha. I'll give a few tips regarding those tools and things that I would hope to be helpful. And some alternate options. Sorry, I get nervous on live videos. Some alternate options if you don't have those tools. Some things that we can kind of just find at our house and use. So first I'll kind of start and share a little bit about myself. So I became an esthetician because I had grade 4 acne. Dermatologists were not able to help me. I do live in Florida, so friends were always at the beach, and I was just embarrassed. I was very embarrassed. I was always trying to just cover, you know, all these problems or, you know, things that I was insecure about with my skin particularly. And I noticed this a lot, that, you know, people will come in, when I used to work at a makeup store, you know, people will come in and they're looking for like some kind of makeup or something to cover, you know, something like their dark circles or different issues, their acne. And, you know, instead of covering, I think that we should really be figuring out what's wrong and kind of getting into the root cause of the problem. So that's kind of my goal as an esthetician. Sorry, I lost my train of thought. So I opened my business 2 years ago, well, almost 2 years. I am a solopreneur, so it is just me. So I've kind of learned how to juggle many things and wear different hats. But it's been a great choice for me because it's given me the freedom to really kind of expand and find my passion. And I think that that is very important in this career. I had no idea I would be where I'm at and have such a clear vision. When I first started, I was actually working in a restaurant. So I had left the skincare industry for a couple months. We are a tourist town, so the money in restaurants can be very good. And I wish I would have stuck it out and just put in my time, because it would have been an easier transition for me, but I didn't. So I got this opportunity. Someone called me and was just like, hey, I have this room, I want to rent it to an esthetician. It has almost everything you need as far as like major stuff like the bed and, you know, things like that. So all I had to really do was obviously buy the stuff, but I got a really good deal, and add a few things that were necessary, and then pick a product line. So I took the opportunity knowing that I had 0 clients, because that's kind of what I always saw happening, but I just didn't know when that would happen. So I went ahead and I decided to go for it, which I don't know. Looking back, I'm like, yes, it's great now, but I don't know, you know, if I did the right thing or not. I feel like I'm in the right place now, so I must have. But yeah, so I started that. Prior to opening my business, I had always worked with whatever line places had. So I worked with Dermalogica Ally, which is where I got a lot of training from at the IDI. It's great. I highly recommend them for everything. Like, all their classes are wonderful. And I used to use their products, and I used to like their products at the time. And I was slowly in my personal life kind of using more organic and holistic things, and just kind of making that slow transition of awareness. You know, I think it scared me, the idea of like looking more into it and knowing that I'd have to change my whole life and change all these things, which of course I did gradually. But I think for a while I kind of ignored it, and then between having my son and needing to find this product line, it all kind of came together, and I started like gravitating towards stuff and organic stuff and reading labels, and that became very important to me. And so I found this line that I absolutely love that is made here locally. I originally was going to use Dermalogica and it didn't work out, which is a huge blessing in disguise. So this line is actually organic, vegan, like everything, and food grade. It works really, really well, and it's definitely kind of was like picking that line has transformed my practice, because it's like a kind of like the core, starting point of what I now, am very into. So I just immediately loved the line. I loved how it felt on my face. It was a good fit for me. So that was kind of the start, and then I started transitioning just everything slowly over, and wearing less foundation, and just kind of trying to get away from some of the chemicals and the more damaging things, and kind of transition over to a more holistic route. And so now I do have a very clear vision for my practice, and I say this just to like maybe inspire someone through the whole process of everything. I think it's very important to have a vision. There's so many different ways we can go in the aesthetics field. If you aren't an esthetician watching this, then you can maybe fast forward a little bit. But yeah, so I think it's very important for us to ease into things, but also be mindful, and once you have that vision, really follow it. So whatever you're drawn to, and then be open to change, like it could change. But I just know that I'm that, like, it's just great. Just having the clarity of where I'm trying to go, it kind of helps me break down what steps I need to take to be there. So I have done some training in holistic therapies such as Gua Sha and Ayurveda beauty and crystal grading and all of that stuff, Reiki. So if anyone else is like kind of wanting to bring that in, I do recommend getting some professional training, but I'm hoping I can provide a little bit of help today, just in like a broader perspective on facial massage and some of these tools. So yeah, I just think as estheticians, sometimes we don't take care of ourselves like we should. Maybe we don't need to, we have great skin, or maybe we don't want to pay for it, or maybe we don't have time. I mean, there's so many reasons not to. But my mentor actually said to me, and two things that are pretty profound, I think. One of those is, it keeps you client-centered to go see other professionals who do what you do. I think that's something that is very important to do, because it does keep you client-centered. It brings things to your awareness. You get to see how other people operate, and it can be for me, it's very inspiring, and also it could be like, oh, I do like this, I don't like that, and it kind of gives you, keeps the inspiration and the flow going. The other side of that is, if we're expecting someone to pay us for a service that we're not willing to pay for, then so I just think that if we're recommending our clients see us every 4 weeks, then we should be trying to do it every 4 weeks. And I know sometimes that isn't always possible, but hopefully with these home care things, like we can kind of take care of ourselves regularly so that we're able to give. I think that's very important. to just make sure we're taking care of ourselves, because we're giving all day and helping people and give, give, give. So we also have to receive. So I just wanted to kind of throw that out there in case anyone needed to hear that. So this is, I'm just going to throw in like a few different facial massage techniques that I have learned from many sources and kind of put together as my own, and some of the acupressure points that, you know, we can kind of hit on the face that do different things. And this is also something that we could incorporate in our nightly routines. So, you know, I say if we could take an extra 5 minutes in the evening just to give a little facial massage, it's just so beneficial to the skin, and just gets that circulation going. And it's just, you know, I think we all know why it's beneficial for the skin, but if not, I encourage everyone to kind of look into it and think about it. I know a lot of estheticians, you know, might be more on the clinical side, and that's great for different reasons. So I'm just kind of sharing, you know, my experience being on more of an organic side of things. So one of the massages I learned, and this is something super easy to do at home, is, you know, we'll just kind of take our hands, and because all along here are pressure points, so you kind of want to press in and then glide and then press here. So this feels really good on the temples. It's also kind of hitting that point right in here that's good for tension. So everything usually goes in threes. So, you know, we'll do this like 3 times. This part is sweeping. This was actually taught to me by Dermalogica, and it was taught as like a lymph drainage thing. I kind of just do my own thing with it. So anyway, so we'll do that 3 times. And then this is another acupressure point. That is part of like an age reversal pressure point massage. So this is like a key point. So I'll kind of sweep over to here. From here, you can go to all kinds of different areas. You can go around the eyes a few times and kind of swiggle. Also Dermalogica, part of the same lymphatic. And then just when you're pressing the points, you know, I would recommend like just kind of pressing a few times, using your intuition with how, you know, hard you want to press. Also, I like to do this a lot, especially if people get that line in there, because it feels really good. And then you can even go back up to this point. I mean, once you know the key points, you could do anything as long as it flows. You know, you want it to flow. So I could go back from there and then go right back into what I was doing. This time I kind of landed under the eyes, so this is another key point. All around the eyes, there's 3 here, so like 1, 2, 3 that you can use however you want, depending on your needs, your client's needs. This one is the main one I use a lot, like right on the sides there. Anything around the eyes is going to be good for like puffiness or fluid retention, all of that. We can also, there's 3 underneath, so there's like 3 above the eyebrows, 3 underneath the eyebrows, and then like 3 right in here. I personally use this one a lot, this one, and then I just kind of sweep. And then I usually transition down here at some point, but going back to the eyes, so you could go from here. These you want to be a little delicate, but it actually feels really good to hit that bone. And there's one right under the eyes that you can easily find that bone like on yourself and on clients with like after one time of trying. And then right here, which is kind of getting more into the sinus area. So however you want to do it, you could do a complete acupressure massage. So you could just kind of, you know, start and then hit like key points and then go back, you know, however you want to do it, and then coming down here. Or you could kind of flow more with it and go more like circles, point, you know, back into point and circles. So there's so much you could do depending on your preference. And again, I do recommend that everyone do this to themselves, including myself. To be honest, I've been slacking with like actually using my hands to massage on myself in the evenings. But it just really does make you feel good. It makes your skin look good. It gets everything going. Like I have some little lines starting here, so I'll kind of like press up in there a lot like this. This is on myself now. Same thing up here, but moving back to the points. So, and then anything around the nose obviously is going to be sinuses. So we can kind of, there's one right in the middle. And like you could go up higher, you could do whatever you want really. This is the main one right here. So, you know, you can hold, press a couple times. Now from this, I usually will go into this, there's like a point right under the cheeks. A lot of these points also, if you look into Ayurveda beauty, they do have like meanings. Like I think this one helps with concentration, this one helps with like tension headaches, anything around the eyes is good for the kidneys. So you can look into these points, or I can like tell you, you know, I just don't want to make it too long to see exactly like what the points are doing. But this is more like sinus in here. Let me see if this one's, yeah. And then I hit under the cheeks, and then this one you do have to be a little lighter with because it can hurt people. So this is usually part of my, I guess I would do it more like this though on a client, and then kind of hold and then release. So you could do that 3 times, and it's really like this. And then this point, I think this one, I forget sometimes. This is really good for like any kind of jaw tension, TMJ. Just either side of the lip. And then this one. Sometimes I'll do both of these together. And you can also even go all the way around the mouth, so you could go but you can tell if you do it like which ones feel good to you, and then you can tell also your clients will kind of do something to let you know. A lot of my clients almost like let out this like snore noise, I think because they're so relaxed when I do that. And then I always kind of end things with like this like sweeping up and out and down method. And I would also recommend, if you're doing lymph drainage, you kind of press a few times right in there to kind of get the lymph open, if that's what your focus is. So if you're going to do more light sweeping motions for lymph, you're going to want to open it out and sweep it down. So another thing we could do is we could bring some tools into it. So this is one of my jade rollers. I'm at my house. I was planning on being in the studio, but So anyway, this is technically a little bigger than a personal size, but still a personal size. The professional size ones are really nice, like the bigger, like rounder ones. But a Jade Roller has been a great tool for me in my facials. I'm sure everyone probably knows a lot of the basics. It stems from traditional Chinese medicine. It's been around for a long time. Jade is very popular, you know, for luck and balancing the body and all kinds of things. I won't get into that too much. The cool thing about it is the stone naturally stays cold, which everyone probably knows by now. And I know some people like to ice theirs. I don't do that because I don't really need to, but you definitely could. So a lot of people say to put like oil on first. I don't think you have to. Like you could put anything on, really. So a lot of times I'll do the acupressure points, and then I'll kind of reapply if the skin's a little dry, if I am going to be doing something like that. And then I'll incorporate like the Jade Roller. But you could really push any kind of product in with the roller. So I'm sure everyone's seen videos on Jade Rolling. I'm trying to think of what I could contribute. One thing that I think is important and not talked about is like you actually have the ability to work on several different layers with this roller. So you want to like kind of do the manual massage to kind of get in the muscles, and then you also can kind of work on like fascial adhesion. So like any kind of pigment, mild congestion, like I have a line here, like a wrinkle, so I can actually like take this and kind of press in a little deeper. Same thing with the jaw. Break up tension. So you can like use it however. This is a great tool to have for your own personal use to like kind of, you know, take care of yourself and feel good. And also clients love it. So I think everyone kind of knows the basics of this, but you can sweep fast, you can sweep slow, you can do up, down, and out. You know, there's really no wrong way. It just depends on your target and like what you're trying to accomplish. I do know like if people have a lot of puffiness, they say, oh, it's good for lymph drainage. It is, but you have to kind of know what you're doing with the lymph if you're going to try to use it for that purpose. Most of them will come with like a little manual, so that's kind of helpful, and I don't know if there's a lot of videos out there or not, to be honest, but I would recommend, you know, looking into that, or maybe getting some training if you decide like you want to incorporate more massage-based modalities. There's a lot of really good teachers, but I just, you know, kind of start at the neck, up and down. I like to follow it with my hand, you know, and then I kind of just work my way up. I think the main thing I wanted to talk about is like just kind of making sure that people realize, you know, you can do many different things with it. So you can easily incorporate this into your routine or your professional skincare. I'll kind of use it to like break up stuff, and then like around this area I like to break up the lymph. So the three main points are like here, here, here. So that's kind of what we're doing with everything. So I do roll up because I have that line, like I said, and then but in the end I will go up, down, and kind of out. So I do sweep down. You could take it farther if you wanted. I'm trying to think if there's anything else around the eyes. You can actually get like really close to the eye and kind of just sweep it all out. And I've had clients notice a huge difference when I use this, just from half the face. So I'll do like half the face at a time. And they really notice. So this is just kind of vague. Everything again in threes. Another thing I'll do is I'll hold the stone. So like, and this can kind of almost act as like, I don't have my gua sha tool, but this can almost act like that if you hold the stone, and you could just like kind of sweep out and over. Something else, so if the face is turning red, I think mine is, then that means you're kind of working more in the fascia layer. I think I'm saying that right. So like we kind of work the muscles with the acupressure. Now we're kind of getting more into the fascia, and then lastly the lymph. So you kind of want to go in that routine if you want to do a more targeted skin routine. You can sculpt, you can like kind of press up and like things like this, and then always end with going out, you know. So and then just like the whole face like that. This part you kind of want to sweep up to here, and you can move slow, or you can just, and sometimes on yourself, if you go like this, you can actually feel the lymph like breaking up, if that makes sense. So like you can like kind of feel something in there. So going under the jaw is really nice for clients who need that like sculpt. You can really get in there, you know, like I said, you can get in this area, work a little deeper, jaw tension, puffy eyes. Again, you can use the small end and really get in there, and then like break up anything. So I don't know if you can tell a difference from like one side to the other. I didn't do that much, but I feel like you kind of can. So yeah, so that's just a few ways that I use it. I think it's a great tool to have personally and professionally. I think it's wonderful. Clients love it. It feels good. It really kind of like locks in the treatment. I use it at the very end. Now, something else I was going to talk about, but I'm not going to get too into, is, you know, I have had some training in Ayurveda. I think it's been great in terms of like, since my goal, you know, with my goals for my practice, bringing in these things I think have been a helpful addition to kind of bring me where I want to go. So I did receive some training in that. This tool is so great though. I really love it. It has so many benefits. The one thing I wanted to mention about it that I think is super cool is that it actually has a galvanic current, so like a natural current to it. So it's kind of like a natural microcurrent for anyone who's looking for something like that. So yeah, you can use this tool to kind of sculpt the face as well, and it feels really good to clients. You can hit acupressure points. There's a lot you could do with that. And if you don't have one, actually, if you don't have either of those two tools I just used, I have some alternative options, so a spoon is actually going to do almost the same thing that oops, my phone's dying. Almost the same thing that the Kanza one is going to do. So you can actually take a spoon and kind of do circles on the acupressure points and like massage a client's face or yourself. Really, I mean, I don't necessarily do this in my practice, but it does feel really good. So you could try it on yourself and easily, you know, kind of start doing this in your routine. and you can really use it to sculpt the face. And it's a really, who doesn't have a spoon? The other thing I have is this crystal wand, which I like. This one has like a little bit of a square there, so you could very easily get in these points with it, which is really cool. This actually is very cold naturally as well, because I'm outside and it is hot. But yeah, so you can just get in the acupressure points. This feels really good on someone or yourself. Kind of just, you know, once you get the rhythm down, you can kind of do anything you want. Again, you can kind of hold on to it and use it for anything. So I think that is it. Yeah, I say use what you have, and hopefully someone got something out of this video. You can find me on Facebook and Instagram, Refreshed by Robin with an I, Organic Skincare Studio. I'm in Sarasota, Florida. I think that's it. My website is www.refreshedbyrobin.com if you want to learn a little more about me. And please comment if you have any questions and I can be of help. Thank you. Have a good day.